Today, Hendro will take us to a place where time isn't linear, but a vast ocean, where past, present, and future coexist. In this chapter, he encounters a civilization that lives beyond temporal limitations, revealing a surprising new way of perceiving existence. Get ready to dive into a journey that might change how we see time and life itself. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can follow every part of this transformative journey. Chapter 6: Time as an Illusion, Hendro's Journey in the Timeless Civilization. Part 1: Arrival in the Timeless World. On his journey through the universe, Hendro approaches a planet shrouded in a silver mist, emanating a serene and profound energy he's never felt before. Known as Neralis by neighboring galaxies, this planet is famous for its mysterious inhabitants, who seem to live outside of time as if each second could expand into infinity. Upon landing on Neralis, Hendro is met with a strange sense of deceleration. The surroundings feel suspended, as if the planet itself breathes a timeless calm. As he begins exploring the surface, Hendro encounters serene beings with profound gazes that seem to carry countless ages of knowledge. Unlike any civilization he's encountered, Neralis' inhabitants appear perpetually present in each moment, as though there is no yesterday or tomorrow, only an eternal now. Approaching them, Hendro senses that here, time does not flow as he has always known it, in an unchanging linear path from past to future. Instead, time resembles a vast ocean, where past, present, and future coexist in a continuous symphony. In his first interaction, Hendro meets an elder named Lirena, whose gaze shines with a mixture of wisdom and serenity. She invites him to sit in a circle of ancient stones, engraved with symbols that seem to shift as he observes them. "You come from a place where time is like a line, don't you?" Lirena asks, with a gentle smile. "Yes," Hendro replies, intrigued. "In my civilization, time is the thread that guides us from where we are to where we want to go. It's what leads us." Lirena pauses, as though listening to music he cannot hear. "Here we don't rush to arrive anywhere. There's no final destination, but rather a constant beginning, where each moment is a doorway to all others. You'll understand more in time, if there is such a thing as time to be understood." Part 2: First Experience Beyond Time. Curious, Hendro decides to follow Lirena to a sacred place in the village center, where glowing stones float gently, radiating a mysterious light that shifts according to the inhabitants' presence. Upon touching one of these stones, Hendro feels a slight dizziness, and in an instant he's transported into a series of memories that seem his, yet he's never lived them. He sees visions of himself in different times and places, as if traversing a journey not only spatial but also temporal. Confused, Hendro turns to Lirena, who watches impatiently, as if awaiting the exact moment he would realize something profound. "What you see, Hendro, is the truth of your existence in multiple dimensions," she explains. "Here we are not limited by before or after, we see the whole. Each choice, each decision, each feeling lives on forever, for time does not erase, it embraces." Hendro feels disoriented. He begins to understand what Lirena means, but can't shake the feeling that his own understanding of time was wrong. All his life, he believed time was something to be conquered, a path with a starting point and an end point. But, seeing himself in simultaneous moments, he realizes time is only a perspective, an illusion. As he reflects on this, Lirena places a hand on his shoulder and whispers, "Are you ready to see the true reflection of your soul, Hendro?" Part 3: The Inner Journey. From that moment, Hendro embarks on an inner journey guided by Lirena and other spiritual guides of Neralis. They lead him to a deep, dark cave, where they say he must confront his perception of time. The cave is sacred, a place where those seeking to understand the true nature of existence come to face their illusions. Inside, Hendro encounters absolute silence, so deep that he can almost hear his own thoughts echoing like a voice. He closes his eyes and begins to meditate, allowing the peace of the place to seep into his mind. As he dives deeper, the cave walls seem to dissolve, and he's transported to a vast space of pure consciousness, where he glimpses the many selves he's been and could be. Hendro sees versions of himself who made different choices at critical moments in his life, creating alternate realities that coexist with his own. He witnesses the pains and joys each of these versions experienced and understands that all these moments, these choices, are like rivers flowing together in an ocean of existence. Part 4. Meeting the Council of Eternal Beings. Upon emerging from the cave, Lorena leads Hendro to the Head Council of Eternal Beings, an assembly of wise ones who oversee the flow of energy in Neralis. These beings have no fixed form. Instead, they seem composed of pure light, shifting in shape and color as they speak. The council leader, a being named Eliar, greets Hendro with a voice that resonates deeply within him. Welcome, Hendro. Here, we are not beings of time. We are the very essence of the now. We understand that the linearity of time is a limitation imposed by minds that have yet to grasp the whole. Hendro feels drawn to Eliar's serenity and presence and begins asking about how the inhabitants of Neralis live. How can you live without feeling the passage of time? Isn't there fear of loss, of ceasing to exist? Eliar smiles, and his light shines even more intensely. Nothing is lost, Hendro, for nothing is possessed. Existence doesn't disappear, it transforms. When we release the attachment to time, we free ourselves from the chains of fear. We realize that true existence is timeless and that we are always present in the eternal now. Part 5. Final Revelation and Hendro's Transformation. After spending days learning from Neralis' inhabitants, Hendro begins to feel a profound shift in his perception. He understands that time, as he conceived it, was just a mental construct, something his own consciousness created to try to grasp the flow of life. Now he perceives that time is malleable, that past, present, and future are mere expressions of consciousness. One night, while meditating alone under the starry sky of Neralis, Hendro feels a deep connection with the entire universe. He realizes that his soul's essence transcends time, that he is part of an infinite consciousness that exists beyond the limits of life and death, beyond any linear concept. The feeling is of absolute liberation, a peace he has never experienced before. When he finally leaves Neralis, Hendro carries a new vision of existence, a realization that every moment is eternal, and the pursuit of a final destination is an illusion. He understands that true wisdom lies in embracing the now, in living each moment fully, without the urge to arrive anywhere. Part 6. Exploring the Temporal Field. As Hendro begins to grasp the complex perception of time on Neralis, he is guided by a young man named Fane, who carries the energy of someone who has lived countless moments. Hendro is surprised to learn that despite his youthful appearance, Fane has experienced numerous realities and seems to remember an infinite number of lives, as though he isn't bound by a single existence. Fane leads Hendro to a special area known as the Temporal Field, a vast open space filled with crystals emitting a soft, pulsing light. Each crystal seems to vibrate at its own rhythm, and Hendro senses these crystals are deeply connected to the consciousness of the planet. These crystals are our anchors, Fane explains. They hold memories and moments that are important to us, not to be relived, but to be honored as a record of who we are and who we once were. Intrigued, Hendro touches one of the crystals and is instantly transported to a distant memory, a memory that isn't his but belongs to a Neralis inhabitant. He sees a home, a family, a moment of loss and profound sorrow, but also one of acceptance and peace. As he releases the crystal, Hendro realizes it's possible to respect an experience without clinging to it, allowing time to transform it rather than reliving it endlessly. This experience makes him reflect on the countless memories and regrets that he and many beings from his galaxy carry needlessly. He realizes that, like the crystals, the essence of experiences can be honored without being bound to them. Looking at Fane, Hendro wonders how many memories he carries unnecessarily and begins to feel relief in knowing he can let go of some of those burdens. Part 7. The Journey to the Heart of Time. After spending time in the temporal field, Fane invites Hendro on an even deeper journey, a trip to the heart of time, Neralis' most sacred place. Hendro learns that the heart of time is a space where the perception of past, present, and future dissolves entirely, allowing him to experience the true essence of existence without temporal boundaries. The journey to the heart of time is made in a special vessel constructed from organic materials and living crystals. During the journey, Fane and Hendro discuss the visions Hendro has experienced so far. Each experience is like a drop of water in a river, Fane explains. When the drop joins the river, it becomes part of something larger, and the river isn't confined to a specific point, it flows freely. In the same way, our lives, choices, and memories are parts of a vast current where the past isn't distant and the future isn't waiting. As Fane speaks, Hendro watches the alien landscape of Neralis passing by the vessel's windows. Now they approach a range of glistening crystal mountains that seem to pulse in sync with his own heartbeat. He feels a deepening connection to the planet and even the universe itself, as if on the verge of a revelation transcending anything he has ever known. When they finally arrive at the heart of time, Hendro feels an almost irresistible magnetism emanating from the space's center. The environment is utterly unlike anything he has seen before. Before him stands an enormous crystal, radiating a light that doesn't seem to belong to this universe, containing within it all colors and at the same time none. Part 8. Meeting his true essence. Approaching the crystal, Hendro is overcome by a profound sense of peace. He touches the cool surface, and immediately he is flooded with a series of visions, not just of his life, but of countless other lives, moments, and possibilities. He sees himself in different forms, in different eras, experiencing varied journeys. He feels the joy of a full life, the sorrow of irreparable loss, and the serenity of a heart at peace. With each vision, Hendro realizes he isn't confined to a single timeline, but that his existence is like a thread intertwined with thousands of others, forming a complex tapestry of experiences and learnings. He understands that existence isn't a series of successive moments, but a tapestry where each thread is eternal and interconnected. Among these visions, he encounters a version of himself that seems deeply serene. This version meets his gaze with acceptance, and Hendro feels he's facing his true essence, free from time, space, and any limitations. "You already are what you seek," this figure whispers, with a voice that seems to echo in his own mind. "There's no future where you'll be complete, nor a past where you were lost. All that you are is now." The experience is so intense that Hendro falls to his knees, deeply moved. He feels he has just experienced an indescribable truth, something beyond words. He senses his identity as a particle within something greater, as a reflection of a universal consciousness that expresses itself uniquely through each being, but remains the same. Part 9. The Dance of Possible Worlds. After this experience in the heart of time, Fine leads Hendro back to the planet's surface, where a special ceremony is about to take place. Hendro is invited to witness the Dance of Possible Worlds, a traditional celebration on Neralis in which the inhabitants connect with the cosmos to honor the infinite possibilities of time and existence. In the village center, a large area is prepared, and the inhabitants form a circle. Each carries a crystal similar to those in the temporal field, but glowing with a unique intensity, as though attuned to the essence of its bearer. When everyone is ready, a soft sound begins to emanate from the ground, an ethereal melody that seems to synchronize with each being's heartbeat. Watching the inhabitants dance, Hendro feels drawn to the circle, and as he touches one of the crystals, he again experiences the sensation of multiple realities. He sees himself not only in his current body, but in different forms and places, as if living all his potential existences at once. The dance reveals to him that every choice we make is like a branch of a tree growing in all directions, creating a web of possibilities that coexist. During the dance, Hendro envisions himself living in other galaxies, in various forms, some as pure energy, others as flesh and bone beings. He understands that his journey isn't singular but one among many. This experience is profoundly liberating. He realizes each choice is a step toward one of his many potential selves, and that he's part of something infinitely greater, a flow with no beginning or end. Part 10. Reflection and Preparation for Departure. When the dance ends, Hendro feels renewed. He looks around and sees serene faces, with gentle smiles and eyes full of understanding. The experience he had here has marked him deeply, but he knows it's time to continue his journey, to carry the wisdom he has gained and share it with other civilizations. Before he leaves, Lorena approaches and offers him a final gift, a small crystal carrying a fragment of the Heart of Time's energy. This crystal will remind you of what you learned here, she says, handing it to him carefully. Remember that time is an illusion and that your true essence exists beyond it. Hendro holds the crystal with reverence and thanks Lorena and Fane for everything they taught him. He feels a mix of sadness and gratitude as he bids farewell to the inhabitants of Neralis, but at the same time, he knows that the connection between them won't dissolve with distance. Back in his ship, Hendro contemplates the crystal and feels it carries a fragment of Neralis's peace and wisdom. Looking at the planet one last time, he feels transformed by this experience, gaining a deeper understanding of the universe and of himself. Hendro realizes that time is an endless flow of experiences, and the impact of this discovery transforms him deeply. The understanding that past, present, and future coexist frees him from the weight of memories and the anxiety of the unknown. He comprehends that the true essence of time is not linear. It is a subtle dance, where each moment lived continues to echo, where each choice opens a new path of possibilities. Back on his ship, Hendro reflects on the lessons learned from that civilization that lives beyond the prison of time. Now he sees that by accepting time as an illusion, we create space for a fuller life, where we can embrace the present with more intensity and wisdom. The scenes he witnessed, the simultaneous encounters, the lives interwoven in a single moment, show him that each second holds an eternity, that each choice creates a new line of destiny, guiding us to our own truth. But what about us? How often do we fail to live in the present, trapped by memories that keep us in the past, or by worries that push us toward an uncertain future? Like Hendro, perhaps it's time to embrace the now, to realize that in doing so, we access a version of ourselves that lives beyond the limitations of time. And what about you? Have you allowed yourself to truly live in the present? Have you thought about how you view time in your life? Share in the comments how this story resonated with you. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to keep following Hendro in his quest for the unknown. May our next journey bring you more answers and even more questions on this voyage to infinity.